Hey guys, we are going to be continuing the book of Ben Sira from I say it wrong, guys, from the New Revised Standard with Apocrypha. So we are going to there's 51 chapters, and we finished with 35 last time. So I'm going to do 36 through 43 this time, so that way we can do 44 through 51 next time. So that is where we're going. Okay, so chapter 36. Have mercy upon us, O God of all, and put all the nations in fear of you. Lift up your hand against foreign nations and let them see your might. As you have used us to show your holiness to them, so use them to show your glory to us. Then they will know, as we have known, that there is no God but you, O Lord. Give new signs and work other wonders. Make your hand and right arm glorious. Rouse your anger and pour out your wrath. Destroy the adversary and wipe out the enemy. Hasten the day and remember the appointed time, and let people recount your mighty deeds. Let survivors be consumed in the fiery wrath, and may those who harm your people meet destruction. Crush the heads of hostile rulers who say there is no one but ourselves. Gather all the tribes of Jacob and give them their inheritance as at the beginning. Have mercy, O Lord, on the people called by your name, on Israel, who you have named your firstborn. Have pity on the city of your sanctuary, Jerusalem, the place of your dwelling. Fill Zion with your majesty and your temple with glory. Bear witness to those whom you created in the beginning, and fulfill the prophecies spoken in your name. Reward those who wait for you, and let your prophets be found trustworthy. Hear, O Lord, the prayer of your servants according to your goodwill toward your people, and all who are on earth will know that you are the Lord, the God of the ages. The stomach will take in any food, yet one food is better than another. As the palate tastes the kinds of game, so an intelligent mind detects false words. A perverse mind will cause grief, but a person with experience will pay him back. A woman will accept any man as a husband, but one girl is preferable to another. A woman's beauty lights up a man's face, and there is nothing he desires more. If kindness and humility mark her speech, her husband is more fortunate than other men. He who acquires a wife gets his best possession, a helper fit for him and a pillar of support. Where there is no fence, the property will be plundered, and where there is no wife, a man will become a fugitive and a wanderer. For who will trust a nimble robber that skips from city to city? So who will trust a man that has no nest but lodges wherever night overtakes him? Chapter 37. Every friend says, I too am a friend, but some friends are friends only in name. Is it not a sorrow like that for death itself when a dear friend turns into an enemy? Oh, inclination to evil, why were you formed to cover the land with deceit? Some companions rejoice in the happiness of a friend, but in time of trouble they are against him. Some companions help a friend for their stomach's sake, yet in battle they will carry his shield. Do not forget a friend during the battle, and do not be unmindful of him when you distribute your spoils. All counselors praise the counsel they give, but some give counsel in their own interest. Be wary of a counselor and learn first what is his interest. What is his interest? For he will take thought for themselves. No. Go by your scratching post. Be wary of counselor and learn. Okay, he will take thought for himself. He may cast a lot against you and tell you your way is good, and then stand aside to see what happens to you. Do not consult the one who regards you with suspicion. Hide your intentions from those who are jealous of you. Do not consult with a woman about her rival, or with a coward about war, with a merchant about business, or with a buyer about selling, with a miser about generosity, or with the merciless about kindness, with an idler about any work, or with a seasonal laborer about completing his work, with a lazy servant about a big task. Pay no attention to any advice they give, but associate with a godly person whom you know to be a keeper of the commandments, who is like-minded with yourself and who will grieve with you if you fail. And heed the counsel of your own heart, for no one is more faithful to you than it is. for our own mind sometimes keeps us better informed than 7 sentinels sitting high on a watchtower. But above all, pray to the Most High that he may direct your way in truth. Discussion is the beginning of every work, and counsel precedes every undertaking. The mind is the root of all conduct. It sprouts 4 branches, good and evil, life and death, and it is the tongue that continually rules them. Some people may be clever enough to teach many, and yet be useless to themselves. A skillful speaker may be hated. He will be destitute for all food. For the Lord has withheld the gift of charm, since he is lacking in all wisdom. If a person is wise to his own advantage, the fruits of his good sense will be praiseworthy. A wise person instructs his own people, and the fruits of his good sense will endure. A wise person will have praise heaped upon him, and all who see him will call him happy. The days of a person's life are numbered, but the days of Israel are without number. One who is wise among his people will inherit honor, and his name will live forever. My child, test yourself while you live. See what is bad for you, and do not give in to it. For not everything is good for everyone, and no one enjoys everything. Do not be greedy for every delicacy, and do not eat without restraint. For overeating brings sickness, and gluttony leads to nausea. Many have died of gluttony, but the one who guards against it prolongs his life. Chapter 38. Honor physicians for their services, for the Lord created them. For their gift of healing comes from the Most High, and they are rewarded by the King. The skill of physicians makes them distinguished, and in the presence of the great they are admired. The Lord created medicines out of the earth, and the sensible will not despise them. Was not water made sweet with a tree in order that its power might be known? And he gave skill to human beings that he might be glorified in his marvelous works. By them the physician heals and takes away pain. The pharmacist makes a mixture from them. God's works will never be finished, and from him health spreads over all the earth. My child, when you are ill, do not delay, but pray to the Lord, and he will heal you. Give your faults and direct your hands rightly, and cleanse your heart from all sin. Offer a sweet-smelling sacrifice and a memorial portion of choice flour, and pour oil on your offering as much as you can afford. Then give the physician his place, for the Lord created him. Do not let him leave you, for you need him. There may come a time when recovery lies in the hands of physicians, for they too pray to the Lord that he grant them success in diagnosis and in healing for the sake of preserving life. He who sins against his maker will be defiant toward the physician. My child, let your tears fall for the dead, and as one in great pain begin the lament. Lay out the body with due ceremony, and do not neglect the burial. Let your weeping be bitter and your wailing fervent. Make your mourning worthy of the departed for 1 day or 2 to avoid criticism, then be comforted for your grief. For grief may result in death, and a sorrowful heart saps one's strength. When a person is taken away, sorrow is over, but the life of the poor weighs down with the heart. Do not give your heart to grief, drive it away, and remember your own end. Do not forget, there is no coming back. You do the dead no good, and you injure yourself. Remember this fate, for yours is like it. Yesterday it was his, and today it is yours. When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest too, and be comforted for him when his spirit has departed. The wisdom of the scribe depends on the opportunity of leisure. Only the one who has little business can become wise. How can one become wise who handles the plow, and who glories in the shaft of a goad, who drives oxen and is occupied with their work, and whose talk is about bulls? He sets his heart on plowing furrows, and he is careful about fodder for the heifers. So it is with every artisan and master artisan who labors by night as well as by day, those who cut the signets of seals, each is diligent in making a great variety. They set their heart on painting a lifelike image, and they are careful to finish their work. So it is with the smith sitting by the anvil, intent on his ironwork. The breath of the fire melts his flesh, and he struggles with the heart of the furnace. The sound of the hammer deafens his ear, and his eyes are on the pattern of the object. He sets his heart on finishing his handiwork, and he is careful to complete its decoration. So it is with the potter sitting at his work and turning the wheel with his feet. He is always deeply concerned over his products, and he produces them in quantity. He molds the clay with his arm and makes it pliable with his feet. He sets his heart to finish the glazing, and he takes care in firing the kiln. All these rely on their hands and all are skillful in their own work. Without them, no city can be inhabited, and wherever they live, they will not go hungry. Yet they are not sought out for the counsel of the people, nor do they attain eminence in the public assembly. They do not sit in the judge's seat, nor do they understand the decisions of the courts. They cannot expound discipline or judgment, and they are not found among the rulers. But they maintain the fabric of the world, and their concern is for the exercise of their trade. How different the one who devotes himself to the study of the law of the Most High. Chapter 39. He seeks out the wisdom of all the ancients and is concerned with prophecies. He preserves the sayings of the famous and penetrates the subtleties of parables. He seeks out the hidden meanings of proverbs and is at home with the obscurities of parables. He serves among the great and appears before rulers. He travels in foreign lands and learns what is good and evil in the human lot. He sets his heart to rise early to seek the Lord who made him and to petition the Most High. He opens his mouth in prayer and asks pardon for his sins. If the great Lord is willing, he will be filled with the spirit of understanding. He will pour forth words of wisdom of his own, and give thanks to the Lord in prayer. The Lord will direct his counsel and knowledge as he meditates on his mysteries. He will show the wisdom of what he has learned and will glory in the law of the Lord's covenant. Many will praise his understanding. It will never be blotted out. His memory will not disappear, and his name will live through all generations. Nations will speak of his wisdom, and the congregation will proclaim his praise. If he lives long, he will leave a name greater than 1,000, and if he goes to rest, it is enough for him. I have more on my mind to express. I am full like the full moon. Listen to me, my faithful children, and blossom like a rose growing by a stream of water. Send out fragrance like incense and put forth blossoms like a lily. Utter the fragrance and sing a hymn of praise. Bless the Lord for all his works. Ascribe majesty to his name and give thanks to him with praise. With songs on your lips and with harps, this is what you shall say in thanksgiving. All the works of the Lord are very good, and whatever he commands will be done at the appointed time. No one can say, "What is this?" or "What is that?" For at the appointed time, all such questions will be answered. At his word, the waters stood in a heap, and the reservoirs of water at the word of his mouth. When he commands, his every purpose is fulfilled, and none can limit his saving power. The works of all are before him, and nothing can be hidden from his eyes. From the beginning to the end of time, he can see everything, and nothing is too marvelous for him. No one can say, "What is this?" or "What is that?" for everything has been created for its own purpose. His blessing covers the dry land like a river and drenches it like a flood, but his wrath drives out the nations as when he turned a watered land into salt. To the faithful, his ways are straight, but full of pitfalls for the wicked. From the beginning, good things were created for the good, but for the sinners, good things and bad. The basic necessities of human life are water and fire and iron and salt and wheat, flour and milk and honey, the blood of the grape and oil and clothing. All these are good for the godly, but for sinners they turn into evils. There are winds created for vengeance, and in their anger they can dislodge mountains. On the day of reckoning, they will pour out their strength and calm the anger of their maker. Fire and hail and famine and pestilence, all these have been created for vengeance. The fangs of wild animals and scorpions, vipers, and the sword that punishes the ungodly with destruction. They take delight in doing his bidding, always ready for his service on earth, and when their time comes, they never disobey his command. So from the beginning, I have been convinced of all this, and have thought it out and left it in writing. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will supply every need in its time. No one can say this is not as good. Chapter 40. Hard work was created for everyone, and a heavy yoke is laid on the children of Adam. From the day they come forth from their mother's womb until the day they return to the mother of all the living. Perplexities and the fear of heart are theirs. An anxious thought of the day of their death. From the one who sits on a splendid throne to the one who grovels in dust and ashes, from the one who wears purple and a crown to the one who is clothed in burlap. There is anger and envy and trouble and unrest and fear of death and fury and strife. And when one rests upon his bed, his sleep at night confuses his mind. He gets little or no rest. He struggles in his sleep as he did by day. He is troubled by the visions of his mind, like one who has escaped from the battlefield. At the moment he reaches safety, he wakes up, astonished that his fears were groundless. To all creatures, human and animal, but to sinners 7 times more, come death and bloodshed and strife and sword, calamities and famine and ruin and plague. All these were created for the wicked, and on their account the flood came. All that is of earth returns to earth, and what is from above returns above. All bribery and injustice will be blotted out, but good faith will last forever. To the wealth of the unjust will dry up like a river and crash like a loud clap of thunder in a storm. As a generous person has cause to rejoice, so lawbreakers will utterly fail. The children of the ungodly put out few branches. They are in healthy roots on sheer rock. The reeds by any water or river bank are plucked up before any grass. But kindness is like a garden of blessings, and almsgiving endures forever. Wealth and wages make life sweet, but better than either is finding a treasure. Children in the building of a city establish one's name, but better than either is the one who finds wisdom. Cattle and orchards make one prosperous, but a blameless wife is accounted better than either. Wine and music gladden the heart, but the love of friends is better than either. The flute and the harp make sweet melody, but a pleasant voice is better than either. The eye desires grace and beauty, but the green shoots of grain more than either. A friend or companion is always welcome, but a sensible wife is better than either. Kindred and helpers are for a time of trouble, but almsgiving rescues better than either. Gold and silver make one stand firm, but good counsel is esteemed more than either. Riches and strength build up confidence, but the fear of the Lord is better than either. There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and with it there is no need to seek for help. The fear of the Lord is like a garden of blessing and covers a person better than any glory. My child, do not lead the life of a beggar. It is better to die than to beg. When one looks to the table of another, one's way of life cannot be considered a life. One loses. All right, chapter 41. Is there a way? Okay. Chapter 41. O death, how bitter is the thought of you to the one at peace among possessions, who has nothing to worry about and is prosperous in everything, and still is vigorous enough to enjoy food. O death, how welcome is your sentence to one who is needy and failing in strength, worn down by age and anxious about everything, to one who is contrary and has lost all patience. Do not fear death's decree for you. Remember those who went before you and those who will come after. This is the Lord's decree for all flesh. Why then should you reject the will of the Most High? Whether life lasts for 10 years or 100 or 1,000, there are no questions asked in Hades. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they frequent the haunts of the ungodly. The inheritance of the children of sinners will perish, and on their offspring will be a perpetual disgrace. Children will blame an ungodly father, for they suffer disgrace because of him. Woe to you, the ungodly, who have forsaken the law of the Most High God. If you have children, calamity will be theirs. You will beget them only for groaning. When you stumble, there is lasting joy, and when you die, a curse is your lot. Whatever comes from earth returns to earth, so the ungodly go from curse to destruction. The human body is a fleeting thing, but a virtuous, no backs. Don't play with that. The human body is a fleeting thing, but a virtuous name will never be blotted out. Baxter, stop. Get down. Bax, stop playing with that. Good boy. Will never be blotted out. Have regard for your name, since it will outlive you longer than 1,000 hoards of gold. The days of a good life are numbered, but a good name lasts forever. My children, be true to your training and be at peace. Hidden wisdom and unseen treasure, of what value is either? Better are those who hide their folly than those who hide their wisdom. Therefore, show respect for my words, for it is not good to feel shame in every circumstance, nor is every kind of abashment to be approved. Be ashamed of sexual immorality before your father or mother, and of a lie before a prince or ruler, of a crime before a judge or magistrate, and of a breach of the law before the congregation and the people, of unjust dealing before your partner or your friend, and of theft in the place where you live. Be ashamed of breaking an oath or agreement, and of leaning on your elbow at meals, of surliness in receiving or giving, and of silence before those who greet you, of looking at a prostitute, and of rejecting the appeal of a relative, of taking away someone's portion or gift, and of gazing at another man's wife, of meddling with his servant girl, and do not approach her bed, of abusive words before friends, and do not be insulting after making a gift. Chapter 42. Be ashamed of repeating what you hear and of betraying secrets. Then you will show proper shame and will find favor with everyone. Of the following things, do not be ashamed and do not sin to save face. Do not be ashamed of the law of the Most High and his covenant, and of rendering judgment to acquit the ungodly, of keeping accounts with a partner or with traveling companions, and of dividing the inheritance of friends, of accuracy with scales and weights, and of acquiring much or little, of profit from dealing with merchants. Baxter, stop, get down. Baxter, get out of there. Get out of there. You have so many other things to play with. Why do you need to play with my papers? Sorry, guys. Okay. Of profit from dealing with merchants, and of frequent disciplining of children, and of drawing blood from the back of a wicked slave. Where there is an untrustworthy wife, a seal is a good thing, and where there are many hands, lock things up. When you make a deposit, be sure it is counted and weighed, and when you give or receive, put it all in writing. Do not be ashamed to correct the stupid or foolish of the age who are guilty of sexual immorality. Then you will show your sound training and will be approved by all. A daughter is a secret anxiety to her father and worry over her. No, you're being a nuisance today, buddy. A daughter is a secret anxiety to her father, and worry over her robs him of sleep. When she is young, for fear she may not marry, or if married, for fear she may be disliked. While a virgin, for fear she may be seduced and become pregnant in her father's house, or having a husband, for fear she may go astray, or though married, for fear she may be barren. Keep strict watch over a headstrong daughter. Pax, what are you doing now? Keep strict watch over a headstrong daughter, or she may make you a laughing stock to your enemies, a byword in the city and the assembly of the people, and put you to shame in public gatherings. See that there is no lattice in her room, no spot that overlooks the approaches to the house. Do not let her parade her beauty before any man, or spend her time among married women, for from garments comes the moth, and from a woman comes woman's wickedness. Better is the wickedness of a man than a woman who does good. It is a woman who brings shame and disgrace. I'm Sira, not your biggest fan. I will now call to mind the works of the Lord and will declare what I have seen. By the word of the Lord his works are made, and all his creatures do his will. The sun looks down on everything with its light, and the work of the Lord is full of his glory. The Lord has not empowered even his holy ones to recount all his marvelous works, which the Lord the Almighty has established so that the universe may stand firm in his glory. He searches out the abyss and the human heart. He understands their innermost secrets. For the Most High knows all that may be known. He sees from of old the things that are to come. He discloses what has been and what is to be, and he reveals the traces of hidden things. No thought escapes him, and nothing is hidden from him. He has set in order the splendors of his wisdom. He is from all eternity one and the same. Nothing can be added or taken away, and he needs no one to be his counselor. How desirable are all his works, and how sparkly they are to see. All these things live and remain forever. Each creature is preserved to meet a particular need. All things come in pairs, one opposite the other, and he has made nothing incomplete. Each supplements the virtues of the other. Who could ever tire of seeing his glory? All right, guys, last chapter of Ben Sira for today. Ben Sira, sorry. The pride of the higher realms. So chapter 43. The pride of the higher realms is the clear vault of the sky, as glorious to behold as the sight of the heavens. The sun, when it appears, proclaims as it rises what a marvelous instrument it is, the work of the Most High. At noon it parches heat. A man tending a furnace works in burning heat, but 3 times as hot is the sun scorching mountains. It breathes out fiery vapors, and its bright rays blind the eyes. Great is the Lord who made it, as at his orders it hurries on its course. It is the moon that marks the changing seasons, governing the times, their everlasting sign. From the moon comes a sign for festal days, a light that wanes when it completes its course. The new moon, as its name suggests, renews itself. How marvelous it is in this change, a beacon to the hosts on high, shining in the vault of the heavens. The glory of the stars is the beauty of heaven, a glittering array in the heights of the Lord. On the orders of the Holy One, they stand in their appointed places. They never relax in their watches. Look at the rainbow and praise him who made it. It is exceedingly beautiful in its brightness. It encircles the sky with its glorious arc. The hands of the Most High have stretched it out. By his command, he sends the driving snow and speeds the lightnings of his judgment. Therefore, the storehouses are open and the clouds fly out like birds. In his majesty, he gives the clouds their strength, and the hailstones are broken in pieces. The voice of his thunder rebukes the earth. When he appears, the mountains shake. At his will, the south wind blows, so do the storm from the north and the whirlwind. He scatters the snow like birds flying down, and its descent is like locusts alighting. The eye is dazzled by the beauty of its whiteness, and the mind is amazed as it falls. He pours frost over the earth like salt, and icicles form like pointed thorns. The cold north wind blows, and ice freezes on the water. It settles on every pool of water, and the water puts it on like a breastplate. He consumes the mountains and burns up the wilderness and withers the tender grass like fire. A mist quickly heals all things. The falling dew gives refreshment from the heat. By his plan, he stilled the deep and planted islands in it. Those who sail the sea tell of its dangers, and we marvel at what we hear. In it are strange and marvelous creatures, all kinds of living things, and huge sea monsters. Because of him, each of his messengers succeeds, and by his word all things hold together. We could say more, but could never say enough. Let the final word be, he is the all. Where can we find the strength to praise him? For he is greater than all his works. Awesome is the Lord, and very great and marvelous is his power. Glorify the Lord and exalt him as much as you can, for he surpasses even that. When you exalt him, summon all your strength and do not grow weary, for you cannot praise him enough. Who has seen him and can describe him? Who can extol him as he is? Many things greater than these lie hidden, for I have seen but few of his works. For the Lord has made all things, and to the godly he has given wisdom. Oh, my backseam. Okay, guys, that was chapter 36 through 43. That's it for Ben Sira for today. We'll wrap it up next time. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.